Tonight on Film Junkee Live, Zack Snyder talks about the DC SnyderVerse as well as the Director's Cut verse in a new interview. Let's talk about that. Deadpool and Wolverine, wow, those pre-sales, well, just kind of blew things up. So, hopefully you got yours. Furiosa comes out this weekend, so let's go over some of those reviews, see what the critics are saying. And then speaking of Furiosa, you saw my first reaction. I've had time to sit on it. Now you're going to get my full review of the movie. All that and so much more tonight on Film Junkee Live. I mean, who would have thunk that I'd be talking about SnyderVerse and the Director's Cut verse, which... Brace yourselves, folks, for the people who are not appreciating the director's cuts. Yeah, there might be more coming.
Let's get nuts.
Well, hello, children. What's happening, everybody? How's everybody doing? Good. Go ahead and make sure that's not too loud. Good riff, that's right. Got the new intro song right there from Mr. Lane. If you're out there, thank you again, sir. What is happening? Welcome to Film Junkee Live. It's hump day. Let's get the humping. Let's get the humping, everybody. Going to be talking about some Zack Snyder. That's right. We got a new interview from Zack Snyder, and he talks about the SnyderVerse, and he talks about Rebel Moon. Of course, we'll talk about that. We got Deadpool and Wolverine, and then just reviews when it comes to Furiosa. We'll talk about the critics' reviews. We'll talk about my full review since I've already seen it. And hopefully you guys are doing good. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like, thumbs up. Do all that. Love this riff. Love the riff. All right, how we doing? Have I got that? Whoop. Come on. There you go. Oh, got to adjust it a little bit. There you go. Put it right there. All right, we got Game City Savior right here. If the next Superman movie isn't equal or surpass the feeling I get when I watch season premiere finale of Smallville like Man of Steel did, then it's a failure in my opinion. Well, I mean, yeah, subjectively, sure. Okay. The cinemas. We got the Watcher right here. Superman DCU will be amazing. That's what I'm hoping. Another Zack attack. What's going on, Ryan? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, we got Brendan right here. Hey, let's get nuts. Let's get nuts. We got Axel right here. Saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes last night, and it was great. Absolutely. I enjoyed it myself. That whole franchise right here that we've gotten in the last decade has just been... Well, there's not a bad one in the bunch. That's for damn sure. We got Mr. Fear Jason. What's happening, sir? We got David Jr. Tolson. Unleash the Zackin'. The Zackin'. We got Eric Patterson. What's happening? Just for kicks, why the Thanksgiving tease? Huh? I don't know what Thanksgiving tease. Oh, you're talking about years ago. Are you talking about years ago when he showed his turkey? That sounded funny. You're talking about the turkey thing with the thermometer, and then like what in the background he had some comic books. Yeah, that's just I don't know. Zack was just probably just going like, whatever. I don't think that was anything. That's the thing. When it comes to Zack, it's like, so I think sometimes a lot of people tend to overthink what the hell he's actually kind of talking about. So you just got to learn the fact that sometimes things mean nothing, you know? It could just be like, hey, maybe I'll put some Easter egg stuff in there, and he's just having a little fun. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it when it comes to Zack, for sure. We got JD McRae right here. What's up? Both the Tigers and the Reds lost today, so not a good day for baseball for me. I know. It's 5-3 in the 8th inning. The Giants are down 5-3. And bases are freaking loaded, and I'm like, come on, guys. Because last night when I was watching, had the game on during the stream, they blew a freaking like 6-3 lead. Freaking sucks. Ugh. Zack Snyder goes back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. Is that what it is? And he puts in steak, prime rib. That's what he ends up doing. What's going on? Taladia plays. I know I'm probably saying it wrong. What's going on? We got Mr. Eric Hardboiled right here. Let's go on. All right, we got Paul. So behind on movies, but seeing Furiosa opening day. Did we score? Yes. All right. Now it's 5-4 Giants. Come on, guys. Base, you can't. Ugh, jeez. We got Tish I3. What is going on? So, wait, is the Thanksgiving tease we're talking about the one? Yeah, from a while ago. Again, yeah, it was from very much. It was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. So, yeah, there was, again, nothing behind it. I think he was just having some fun. That's what it was. That's what it was. Like I said, you can't just take, don't take everything. Can't take everything so seriously. Like everything that he posts is a hint at something else. And I think a lot of fans are kind of realizing that that's actually the case. He has a little fun. Puts little Easter eggs in his images, because, he knows that some people will be like putting getting their jeweler's loop out or a magnifying glass and kind of just being like, hey, what's happening here? So he's just having a little fun. He's not trying to like toy with your emotions or anything like that, but sometimes it's just, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. There you go. What Eric said right there. Yeah. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. And I think a lot of, in the past few years, a lot of people overthought a lot of things that ended up not being things. Just don't overthink it. That's what I always try to tell people. But yeah, we'll talk about this new interview from Zack, where he discusses certain things, and it's a good little interview and everything. So hopefully you guys are doing good. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that like, thumbs up. Jeez, they left 3 men on. Come on, what are you guys doing? God, I see this. I always hate it when the Giants are visiting back east because the games are on like as I'm streaming. When they're at home, I could watch it after I'm done streaming. So, hey, we got Bell Reeve right here. Good to see you. Hi, with the wave. Good to see you in the chat. All right, let's go ahead and let's get it on. And we're going to start off, obviously, because I did a show last night, not going to be too many tweets. Last night, had a lot of tweets to go through, a lot of things to go through, catching up on everything. Took like pretty much 45 minutes. Not going to take that long this time for sure. So, but the first thing we're going to be talking about is, a lack of Henry. My brain jumped ahead because I was like, a lack of Henry Cavill, but we have an introduction to a Hemsworth. That's right. You guys saw this, I'm sure. There is our first look at Liam Hemsworth in The Witcher Season 4 as Geralt. Oh. Yeah. It's not bad. It's going to be probably fine, but it's just, there's definitely going to be something missing when it comes to The Witcher not having Henry Cavill. Let's face it, it's just going to be the case. It's not Henry Cavill. It's a Hemsworth. And, there was a little teaser that showed up today too. And it's like, okay, it's fine. But I think some of us can just agree that it's like, hey, all right. But it's not Cavill. We love Cavill. We love Cavill so much. Jeez. But there you go. There's your first look at Liam Hemsworth. It's just like, I'm like, all right. I mean, obviously Liam Hemsworth is probably taller than Cavill. A little bit taller than Cavill. But, I mean, Cavill's just fucking shoulders, man. He's just full shoulders. And it's just, I don't know. Just seems a little off. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't even think I didn't even watch season 3. I watched season 1 and 2. I should probably watch season 3 and catch up on all this, but who knows. But now we're going to talk about Glen Powell. That's right. We're going to talk about Glen Powell. And apparently, well, Glen Powell was, despite being a dream role for him, Glen Powell passed on starring in the next Jurassic movie. The movie's going to fucking kill. It's not about that. It's about choosing where you're going to make an audience happy and where you're going to make yourself happy. Just say the script sucks. Just say, Glenn. You're not going to say it. I'll say it for you. This movie is being rushed. This movie is not going to be that great, even though we got Gareth Edwards, and I'm hoping for the best because it is him. Great director, and I think maybe he could pull it off. But if the release date for this new Jurassic movie is going to stay where it's actually at, this movie's going to be sorely rushed. Big time rushed. You're telling me that Glen Powell passed on a Jurassic movie, but is doing Twisters? Twisters. Huh? What? He went from Top Gun Maverick to starring in a romantic comedy with Sydney Sweeney? And then, of course, doing this Hitman movie that's coming out from Netflix, which actually looks pretty good. And then going to pass on a Jurassic movie? Something tells me the script probably wasn't that great. Now, he maybe passed on it before Gareth Edwards jumped on it and then probably went, shit. Who knows? But I don't know about this new Jurassic movie. I really don't. But come on, Glenn, just say the script sucks. It's okay. You could say it sucks. And then we got Marvel. We got Marvel Telvision, as they, of course, now have that name. Marvel sets series for 2026 with Paul Bettany, Star Trek Picard EP, Terry Matalas as showrunner. That's right. We're going to get a Vision series. I had the V coming out of my... Wow, that sounded weird. The V in my mouth? No, that should... yeah. Somebody can clip that out. No, I didn't have the V in my mouth. Let's face it. Hey, let's keep this PG-13, folks, or at least, a soft R. I had the, Vision, and I just thought, well, Venom, whatever. So anyways, yeah, there you go. There's one of the many foul-ups that I'll have on this stream where I said the V in my mouth. No, but Vision series, I don't know if anybody was... you know what? WandaVision did well. Even though the finale was kind of but the whole series, the series as a whole was pretty good. So, this whole topic is just totally. Now I'm talking about holes and V's. Anyways, okay. It's a Wednesday show. It's a hump day show. So what can you do? But yes, we're getting a Vision series right here, folks. So. And by the way, it is Wine Wednesday. That I could probably blame it a little bit on that, maybe, but I've only had a couple of sips. So, but cheers, everybody. It is Wine Wednesday. All right, and then we got some art right here for Mealy Alcock's. We go from V to Jesus Christ. Anyways, we go for this art right here from Jackson Durr. I've shown you guys some of his art before. And pretty cool stuff. Not bad. I mean, obviously he wanted to make Supergirl's costume look now like when we saw Corenswet in the costume, we saw the reveal. So we wanted to kind of make the suit kind of like that. So she's got the collar, she's got the lines, a little thickness in the suit right there. But you know what? Doesn't look bad. It really doesn't look bad. I like this art right here. So good on him. And got the skirt, but also a full bodysuit. So this is interesting right here. And that's why one of the things I wanted to talk about is the fact that it's like, okay, so we have the skirt, but also it's a full bodysuit. Kind of wondering if they take that approach too when it comes to the Supergirl costume. Have both. Because there's always been that discourse when it comes to the skirt or a full bodysuit. Very interesting. Interesting concept. Like the gauntlets, like everything about this, to be honest. Not too shabby. Skirt and pants. So we get the trunks back. I don't know. I hope they bring back the skirt. You know, I do. I hope they bring back the skirt. That's just me, though. I don't know. And then we also got this art right here from Yadvinder Singh. And this is pretty cool art right here when it comes to David Corenswet and the costume. I mean, he's looking pretty, full on jacked. He's got the muscular, everything, every ripped muscle that is going on that we won't see in the actual suit. But this is pretty good art right here. And I love the fact that it's very dark. It's very just like, oh, is that evil Superman? Oh my God, so many people are tired of evil Superman. It's like, shut up. Everybody's like, what is Superman? I mean, does he have to turn evil? It's like, yeah. I mean, to make him, to be honest, when you test him, it's, when you test Superman and there's a potential for him turning evil, that's interesting because he's such a perfect superhero. So the fact that, that's what Zack was trying to do, and, other versions, like especially with Superman and Lois and all those, it's like, they kind of you're testing him. But very good art right there. Really like that. And update on the Beetlejuice new trailer that's coming out tomorrow. It's supposed to show up at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 9 o'clock my time. I'll probably do some kind of reaction. I don't know if it'll be a short, if it'll be something else. I don't know. But looking forward to seeing that trailer because obviously we're going to get a lot more than what we got in that little teaser right there. So, and then yesterday on the stream, I did talk about the Green Lantern fan film that's going to be coming out that is from Mark Justice. And if you want to get a little closer look at his costume, look at that. So talking about taking this fan film stuff, I mean, he put a budget into this because that is not a bad costume right there. Not a bad costume. I'm not saying it's like perfect or anything, but for a fan film, that is not too shabby. If you're not going to be using like a lot of visual effects, I don't know. But I'm very much intrigued by it. I'm like, okay, full on mask, full on everything. I mean, the only thing that you would add some VFX to it is like for the emblem to like glow a little bit, huh? But I like it. And what else we got? We got this Batman image right here. We got, this is pretty cool. Obviously, Mr. Freeze, Heart of Ice, which is one of the best episodes of Batman the Animated Series. We got Fear Jason right here, who's in the chat with his version of Batman. I dig the emblem. You added a little bit more to the emblem. It's kind of a fat bat, but it's got a lot of pointy, spiky stuff in there. Not your generic emblem, so good job, sir. Really dug that. So there you go. There you go, guys. There's the tweets. Yeah, didn't take an hour this time. That's for sure. The left eye looks like Darkseid. I'm curious why she's got a sword. Well, if you actually the story of Woman of Tomorrow, yeah, very much. There's very much a sword that is involved. So, if you've seen like other versions, if you've seen like drawings and stuff like that, yeah, you just look up Woman of Tomorrow. You'll see the fact that she's holding a sword. Yeah. I mean, I know. It's again, movie has potential to be something so unique and different. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I still haven't read the book from cover to cover, and I do plan on doing that. Obviously, before the movie comes out, got plenty of time because it's not coming out to 2026. But, and I know I got grilled on the Vodka Stream panel because I hadn't, even though I wasn't the only one that hadn't on the panel anyways. But I do plan on reading that and you know, with Rebecca, who is you know, from Supergirl Radio. I mean, she's a big time advocate for that story, so she's very much excited. So, and if even I mean, and I've gotten the gist of that story when it comes to Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Like, if even just a good portion of that, I mean, it's going to be a hard PG-13 if that's the case, because it's not your traditional freaking Supergirl story. So I just really hope they keep some elements from that, and it could be something unique and different. I know there's some people that just automatically think it's going to be just another just bright and, you know, oh, look at this. It's like the Supergirl. It's a Helen Slater Supergirl. I don't know how many times I've gotten that from people in my mentions. Oh, it's just going to be a rehash of the Helen Slater Supergirl. It's like, they literally it's based off this book right here that is not traditionally that at all. So the Giants are about to lose. They're down to the last strike, guys. Sorry. Gotta watch this pitch right. Good Lord. Is this even working? All right. Oh, damn it. Come on. Is it working? It's not. Okay, it's working. All right. Sorry. All right, ball. Sorry, because the article that we're going to be looking at. The article we're going to be looking at is, well, it was in German. So I had to translate it, and for some reason the Google wasn't translating it. Foul ball. Jesus Christ. But I know. Of course, this last strike is gonna last forever. So I won't take up too much time when it comes to this. But I'm just like, good Lord, yeah, they're gonna lose. It's just the way the Giants season's gonna be. So I don't even know why I'm even trying to pay attention to it. It's, you know, yeah, come on, Montos, just do it. Just do it. Take another sip of wine. But anyways, okay. Why does it have to be so dramatic right now? Come on. So dramatic. But this is why I love baseball. This is what I love about the dramatic of baseball. Oh, base hit, baby. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. And what are you doing? Oh, got it to second base. Okay, sorry. Got a little too excited right there. Man, he just like... It was like that was a single, and he turned it into a double. Good on you, Montos. Holy shit. All right. That's all I needed right there. Satisfy my... Jesus Christ. Holy Lord. All right. All right, so we got Zack Snyder right here, and new interview talking about, of course, Rebel Moon Part 3. Talking about the SnyderVerse a little bit, too, as well. Talking about the SnyderVerse as well, and we're going to go over this article. This is actually... I don't even, like I said, I can't even tell you what the website is. fr.de Koltar. I don't know. It's a German website. He did this interview, so we're just going to kind of just like go through it right here. Hollywood directing legend Zack Snyder. Unfortunately, it's not possible to do without violence. You got to love that. Got to love that right here. The controversial filmmaker talks in an exclusive interview about his new sci-fi series, Rebel Moon, working methods, and the brutality of his films. So yes, obviously doing a little bit of everything right here. And the first thing they asked, which is from Mark, not even going to try to pronounce the last name. Oh, we got another base hit. Oh, God. There it is. There it is. Sorry, guys. Tie game. All right. Good job, Giants. Good job, Mr. Wade Jr. right there. Anyways, I'm getting way too excited. This is what I love about baseball, though. This is what's so exciting about it. Anyways, back to this at hand. Tie game, 5-5. Gotta love that shit. All right, interview right here. He said, I'm glad we're talking to each other along with Stanley Kubrick, Stanley Kramer, Anatoly Litvak, and King Hugh, who... You are one of my favorite directors. For me, Watchmen is the best comic book adaptation right there. Oh, my God. Thank you so much. For the flowers, I'm really honored. So it started off like that, which is great. I liked The Scar Maker, the second part of your passion project, Rebel Moon. Much better than the first because the background, I love how the Giants hats are like right there because, you know, they're listening because the backgrounds of the individual characters are finally explained. So, you know, obviously talking about that, which we've heard many times when it comes to Zack. And then it says, when you see a film in the cinema, you can monitor attendance, but how do you want to do that at home when Netflix is on? So that's a good question. I discussed this in detail with my family months ago. I can only appeal to the adult's sense of responsibility. So there's that. The first part, Child of Fire, received mostly bad reviews. How do you deal with that? It didn't bother me too much because I knew that when the film journalists see the second part, the reviews will be better. You have to see both parts to fully understand the film, its characters, and the background. And I was right. The reviews for Scarmaker are much better than Child of Fire. I'm trying to remember. Are they really? I almost thought that they were worse. Am I wrong about that? When it comes to the PG-13 cut, I don't know. I just know that Zack wants everybody to see the R-rated cuts more than that. I don't know. Will there be a third part of the sci-fi saga? Clear Rebel Moon is my version of the Seven Samurai in space. By the way, I will also create a director's cut for the third part. So also talking about a third part. You know, obviously talking about Rebel Moon, we already know that he wants to do not just a third one, but he wants to do another whole probably trilogy after this, and of course having spin-offs and whatnot. But there is supposedly going to be director's cuts. There's going to be a PG-13 and a director's cut for part 3 as well. So, you know, brace yourselves, folks. All right, so let's see. Let's keep going. How would you describe yourself as a director? Are you like Stanley Kramer? Or does that mean Stanley Kubrick? Like, again, this is translated, so someone who looks after his actors like plants, or okay, we're not even going to talk about that one. With a few exceptions, Rebel Moon only runs on Netflix users' smaller home screens at home. Does it hurt you that the series doesn't have a worldwide theatrical release? My philosophy hasn't changed. I want to offer Netflix audiences the greatest cinematic experience possible, like the road splitting in front of their eyes. In this regard, I don't compromise on the look when I'm implementing a project. So, you know, for the people who are always talking about not compromising and all that stuff, you know, there's him saying he's not compromising on the look, at least. You are an avowed science fiction fan. What is your favorite film from this very broad genre? My number one is Star Wars, the original film from 1977. Like 2001, A Space Odyssey, it was a turning point not only in the sci-fi genre, but in the film universe in general, almost cosmic. I also love Aliens, James Cameron's sequel, even more than Ridley Scott's first part. So there you go. Zack likes Aliens more than Alien. And I would have to agree. I like Aliens more too, just because it's more sci-fi action. I don't know. Not, you know, again, nothing wrong with Alien, but my God. And then even more than Ridley Scott's first part, talking about that. And from Scott, of course, Blade Runner, and the second part of Star Wars Saga, The Empire Strikes Back, which, of course, that's a lot of people's favorite right there. In my opinion, the sequel is even better than the first. Of course, we talked about that. My favorite science fiction films are 2001: Space Odyssey and Fahrenheit 451 right there. So, and then of course, Good Choice talks about that. How has blockbuster cinema changed since your feature film debut of Dawn of the Dead in 2004? In my opinion, it hasn't changed that much, except that there are perhaps more opportunities in streaming. So again, Zack pushing for the streaming. Army of the Dead couldn't have been made by a traditional Hollywood studio in the way that Netflix made it possible, and neither could Rebel Moon. Filmmakers can often tell their stories more epically on streaming services than in the cinema. And then here we go, guys. Here we go, talking about, of course, the SnyderVerse and things. Obviously, when it comes to a Zack Snyder interview, you're going to be talking about this SnyderVerse a little bit. You have to. No other director had their own cinematic universe. With the SnyderVerse, you took care of the SnyderVerse from 2011 to 2021 with Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Justice League, and the 242-minute long director's cut. Zack Snyder's Justice League caused a sensation. For example, there is no Scorsese-verse. How did the SnyderVerse come about? By the way, there should be a Scorsese-verse, which I agree. And I think a lot of people even thought that maybe Scorsese's movies were kind of like in their own universe. I don't know. But to your question, I had in mind a majestic comic monster for the cinema that was supposed to be ahead of its time in terms of content and style. But with the appointment of James Gunn and Peter Safran as the new leads of DC Studios, it was commercially successful, are done with it, basically. Saying like, we're done. And they're being appointed, DC Studios, all that stuff. No, seriously, the SnyderVerse was a hilarious thing that was supposed to give fans new fodder by asking themselves, what the hell is this? Now there's just the Zack Snyder's director's cut verse. And, of course, he laughs. He laughs. And then, of course, talks about violence, all that stuff. But I love that. I love his description. I love his description when it comes to talking about his SnyderVerse, talking about like how this was going to just be like this crazy like comic monster of cinema and it's going to be ahead of its time, which very much is the case. And I know, people who hate Zack Snyder, they're going to be like, are you fucking kidding me? But just the way that people talk about Watchmen now, after we've had, over a decade of the MCU, and talking and looking where The Boys is right now, and looking where like Invincible, like stuff like that, when it comes to certain characters and certain movies, when it comes to the superhero genre, Watchmen was very much ahead of its time. And so was when it comes to Man of Steel, when it comes to BVS, for God's sakes. And that's why I think a lot of people hate it, or at least people are coming around when it comes to those movies. It's like, oh, wow, this was a little different from what I'm used to. It's not just like the fun, the popcorn fun that I'm actually used to. This is actually something a little bit different. I don't know. That's just the way I'm looking at it. That's the way I've always looked at it, and that's why I'm a fan of the dude and why I'm a fan of his movies, is the fact that, it was very much ahead of its time. But the fact of the matter is, and, obviously, like I saw, what's kind of funny too is like this article just kind of like being on like a German website and whatever, it kind of just obviously was not taken off. But there was like I saw the tweet from somebody who basically quoted talking about this. And there are so many fans that got upset about it. Like, that's not the quote. That's not the quote he said, because he's basically saying that, oh yeah, it was going to be this when it came to the SnyderVerse, but now, now there's a whole new thing right there. Even though that was successful, there's a whole new thing, so that's kind of done. So the fact that it was like Zack kind of just going like, kind of putting this behind him, it, of course, upset a lot of people. And again, those aren't Zack Snyder fans. They are DC Zack Snyder fans. So that's the bad part. Ooh, I love that. Sorry. I just saw something right there. Dude struck out and he broke his bat on the ground. He was that pissed off. And that was McCutcheon. He used to be a Giant. Oh, man. I don't know. I just thought that was cool. When players get so upset, they break their bat. And he broke it on the ground. And they're showing the replay. I love it. Anyways. I know. I'm sorry I'm distracted by the game a little bit. But it's, it's an intense game. What can I say? But, yeah. So basically what I'm just kind of just like rounding up this, talking about this topic is, obviously he talks about how there's going to be more Rebel Moon and there's going to be another director's cut. When it comes to that, there's going to be a PG-13 cut and another director's cut. I mean, it seems like that was the deal when it comes to Netflix. I mean, it hasn't been fully greenlit yet, which is, it's a little nerve-wracking because who knows when it comes to, especially when you see like some of the release numbers that weren't maybe as grand as they were hoping to be. And then, of course, you have Dan Lin, who is now running the film department of Netflix recently. And I remember I told you guys when I went to the Rebel Moon Part 2 little premiere thing out in LA, I peed next to Dan Lin. That's right. I did. And I should have threatened him. I'm like, you know, if you want to, you know, I'm going to pee on your shoe if you don't greenlight Rebel Moon Part 2. 3. Part 2 is already, obviously we're there for that, but yeah. But yeah, it makes you a little worried. It does make you a little worried because it's like, okay, we haven't got the official word on that yet, but I don't know. Good interview, just random interview, but the fact that he was actually talking about, you know, the SnyderVerse and what he wanted to do. And I just love how he called it a majestic comic monster for the cinema. You know, just thought that was pretty cool. And I was like, yeah, majestic comic monster. Because we have to remember, guys, that the fact that when it came to what the Marvel machine was what they were making, it's like, yeah, Zack didn't want to do that. So he was doing his own thing and like, no, we're not going to do that. We got to do this. And the sad fact of the matter is there was a fucking guy with a ball cap and a bunch of suits that were like, no, Zack, we want to do what they're doing because that's just what happens. But it's like, no, when it comes to the world of competition, you have to not emulate or copy what your competitor's doing. You have to do your own thing. And Zack was very much going, let's do our own thing, and let's have Batman and Superman fight each other, and let's deconstruct both of them. And then we'll have Wonder Woman in it. We can introduce The Flash and Cyborg and Aquaman, and we're going to like have this Aquaman that's not your, you know, the blonde hair, blue-eyed like surfer dude. No, it's going to be a Hawaiian dude with long hair who has a very mean-looking face. Yeah, we're going to do that. He was very much trying to be ahead of his time. And I will always say that Zack Snyder's, like, especially when it came to Watchmen, especially when it came to the comic book genre, back to 300, to Watchmen, to Man of Steel, to BVS, to Justice League, he was very much ahead of his time. Very much ahead of his time. And I'll always back that up. I'll always say that because, yes, he very much was. And I know there's going to be the Snyder haters out there that are like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, because you don't appreciate cinema. You don't appreciate cinema. Get out of here. Get out of here. I love Zack, but his Netflix shit sucks hard. His Netflix shit sucks hard. Is that what you're saying, Special K? Sucks hard? Okay. You don't like Army of the Dead? You don't like Rebel Moon? Maybe you'll like the director's cuts. You know, you gotta think about that. You gotta think about maybe the director's cuts. I know there's a lot of Zack Snyder fans that aren't liking the PG-13 cuts for sure. So someone used no, I didn't use Chat GPT. I just used Google to translate that. Yeah. So anyways, all right. Deadpool and Wolverine. Did you get your tickets? Because holy shit, they are just like going. And they did a pretty good pre-sales right here when it comes to R-rated movies. And again, it's so funny because it's like Marvel Studios, Disney, R-rated movie. Man, you got to love that. But yes, guys, apparently it like broke some records when it came to pre-sales for an R-rated movie. Deadpool and Wolverine, first day, $8 million plus. Pre-sales are best for R-rated movie ahead of the Batman, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So even beating out those two movies, those two gems. Disney, Marvel Studios' first R-rated release, Deadpool and Wolverine, is already heating up 8 weeks before its debut, having already collected some $8 million in first-day ticket sales. $8 million is pretty remarkable for an R-rated movie 2 months before release. Yes. So already doing all that. While there are no direct comps on Deadpool and Wolverine ticket sales in post-COVID history, the current cash best the 24-hour advance ticket sales of Warner Brothers DC, of course, The Batman, which had 6.5 million, and then, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy had 6 million, and then, of course, the R-rated John Wick, which had $1.4 million right there. Breaking records, which we all knew. We all knew that. I didn't buy my tickets yet because I don't know when I'm going to actually see it. That's the bad part. I'm going to a Dodger and Giants game that day during the day, and me, my dad, and my brother were talking about going to see something out there. So I'm probably going to go see it in LA out there, but then maybe I'll get in advance. I don't know. Hopefully you guys got your tickets because it's shattering records, and there's movie theaters that are selling out fast. So I love that. You got your tickets involved. Good. Hopefully, I don't think it's going to be like, that crazy, but yeah, I'm going to have to really probably buy my tickets tonight, tomorrow, but I'm just like going, all right, where are we going to see this, guys? Yeah, I was like, oh shit, we're going to that game the day of, and then I'm like, okay, well, we'll figure it out, I guess, but, so there you go. There you go. Shattering ticket sales. Come on, there we go. All right. Gotta love Wine Wednesday. Oh, the Giants take the lead. 6-5 Giants. There we go. All right. Come on. I mean, it's top of the 10th right now. It's getting insane. This is why I love baseball, guys. I know some people are like, whatever, it's not that exciting. This is fucking exciting. What are you talking about? All right, let's get to the Furiosa part of the show tonight. Like I said, it's not going to be like a long show because I had a show last night. Not much news, but we're going to be talking about Furiosa. That's going to be coming out this weekend. We got reviews. We got reviews for Furiosa. We're going to, of course, go to the Devil Fruit website and see what the critics are saying right there when it comes to Furiosa. And, shocker, guys. Hey, guess what? It's got a pretty good rating, and critics are liking it, and people who are fans of the genre are, loving this movie. It's now 7-5 Giants. Okay, this is a good 10th inning. Come on. Oh, jeez. Sometimes this thing. Currently at 88% with 147 reviews right here. Retroactively enriching Fury Road with greater emotional heft, if not quite matching in it. Propulsive throttle, Furiosa is another glorious swerve in mastermind George Miller's breathless race towards cinematic Valhalla. Valhalla. That's pretty good. I like that. Oh, man, does anybody else hate how they redesigned this website? Oh, my God, it sucks. Here we go. View all. Go to the view all. There we go. All right, let's read some of these reviews right here, and I already know that what some of the reviews are going to actually be saying right here. Daily Express. Hemsworth steals the show as Dementis, who owns playing an unshamely hammed-up, mustache-twirling villain. A lot of people are liking Hemsworth. Miller once again proves himself the king of cinematic apocalypse. Absolutely. Take away the spectacle aspect, and the movie may seem repetitive and underwritten. In a premium movie house, however, the immersion is so complete that viewers may require a short-term recovery period once it's all over. Oh, we got a bad review right here from the Movie Minute. I'm all for origin stories that make sense intellectually, and this one does. But shouldn't it make sense emotionally too? Because for all the impressive parts in this chapter, it just doesn't feel anywhere near as furiously awesome as its predecessor. Ooh, okay, so she didn't like it too much. If Fury Road was a snapshot that suggested a whole world of lore, Furiosa is an epic poem. As a Furiosa origin story, I was left disappointed. This film should have been called Dementis, a Mad Max story. So again, talking about Hemsworth stealing the spotlight. It is expertly shot, crafted, edited, and directed, and features a skyscraper-high stack of breathless action sequences as well as a pulse-pounding, metalized soundtrack. That's right. You got Mr. Junkee XL right there doing all that. So basically, when it comes to the reviews, hey, it's badass. You like Fury Road, you're going to like this. You're definitely going to like it. So That's right. We're doing this. We're doing this, guys. Check it all out. Hopefully you guys got your tickets and you're going to go check it out this weekend because, hey, guess what? When it comes to the box office, you better go support this shit because, if you don't do that, these movies just go on VOD in about 3 weeks if you learned anything about The Fall Guy. But I think this movie is going to draw in a lot more than what that movie did. All right, so update on the game. Bases loaded. We got Yazzie Pants. That is up right now. Bases loaded, top of the 10th. Oh. So I'm just, this game is just like, holy shit. So anyways, okay. But as this game is going on, holy Lord. Hold on, let me see this pitch right here. I apologize, guys, but it's so intense. Okay, foul ball. Come on, Yazzie. It's too intense, but... yeah, the box office just been suffering so much, and I'm kind of wondering what the box office... I didn't even want to look at projections because projections are just like... we start looking at projections and we start just getting disappointed on what happened. Yes, he struck out. Damn it. He's not having a good game. He was not having a good game. This is like he's already struck out like twice. Anyways. All right. So now... I'm going to give my full review of Furiosa. My drinking review, as I do. The wine. So you saw my first reaction. You guys know I enjoyed it. But I wanted to sit on it a little bit because I'm like, all right, what are the things that I can, nitpick, which I'm going to do. I'm going to nitpick a little bit when it comes to certain things. And I just want to go all right, what did I really enjoy about Furiosa? I mean, obviously it's George Miller, it's the action, and there is something about the action when it comes to George Miller and what he achieves when it comes to his action. And I'm gonna I wish I rewatched Fury Road before I went and saw the movie, but I'm gonna watch it this weekend. Definitely gonna watch it this weekend. It's not as intense as Fury Road, of course, because this is now about Furiosa and her origin story. And it's a crazy origin story because I did not think they were going to go so hard when she was a child. Like, one of the things is you see her as a child for a good section of, the first act is just full on that. And you're seeing the child, which apparently was revealed by Anya Taylor-Joy, because I remember even the little girl who plays the young Furiosa. I was like, God damn, they did a good job because she looks like Anya Taylor-Joy. Turns out, little tweaking, digitally, AI. That's right, guys, using those two letters that everybody hates. They used AI to make her look more like Anya Taylor-Joy, and I'm like, well, that makes sense now, because it's like, oh shit. This little girl, I'm like, damn, they found a really good, and she does a really good job, and she needs to do a good job because there is a good chunk, the entire first, which was kind of took me back a little bit, where it's like, oh, wow, we're getting a lot of child Furiosa, and I think it really works when we finally get to, the Anya Taylor-Joy part of it, because now it's like, okay, we have these three Furiosas, and each of them have their good chunk of the story if you're looking at it at the two movies. And I'm going, you know what? I really appreciate that, because once we do get Anya in there, not a lot of dialogue, a lot of acting with the eyes, which I love. She has very gorgeous eyes, which I've said many, many times. But what George Miller really does, it's almost like the reverse of Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder knows how to use slow-mo to his advantage, and it looks gorgeous and everything. George Miller does the opposite. He speeds up the frame rate to his advantage, where sometimes you don't even catch it. There'll be shots where it's rotating, and I'm like, whoa, that looks like a pretty cool shot. But if you look closely, it's like, oh, he sped it up a little bit, because you can see somebody moving a little bit faster than they should be moving. He has crafted himself as speeding up the frame rate. Zach, slows it down. Looks really cool. Not trying to compare them. It's two different filmmakers right there. But what I really loved about this movie is the fact that they really... So when it comes to Fury Road, it's just a strict story of okay, we already know Furiosa's trying to transport, these ladies. And obviously Mad Max gets, mixed up into that. So it's just very much about the Fury Road. It's just action, action, action. It's crazy. But they don't really tap into the world. The world, like maybe in the previous Mad Max movies, have tapped into the world of, this wasteland. This movie very much does. Like, you have like these different sections, you have like, well, where do they get the gas? Where do they get the bullets? Where do they get water? And it's all about exchange. There's no currency in this world. So they really explore that. And yes, Chris Hemsworth, I thought he was going to be annoying, but he's actually a very good villain, and good on Chris Hemsworth. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you could tell he was having so much fun playing Dementus, and it works. And Anya Taylor-Joy is a badass, and she's like now going to be like, okay, you are an action star, because again, you get those crazy like fast zooms in on her face and the acting with the eyes. Anya Taylor-Joy, I love you more. And go see this movie, guys. Seriously, cheers. Great stuff. It's the expansion, and that's what I was sitting on. I'm like, what do I really like about this movie? It's the expansion of the wasteland world and how it actually works. You get a lot of that in this movie. And you get a lot crammed into the movie because you're getting Furiosa as a child, and then you get about 15 years time jump to where she is there. And then, of course, it leads into where it goes to Fury Road. So there's a lot that George Miller had to cram in here, which, could take away from it. That's why, like, when it comes to comparing it to Fury Road, it's like Fury Road was just madness and it was like, all right, get to point A, point B. This is a little bit more. He was trying to condense this story of, like, Furiosa to just, like, it could have been a series on Max, or it could have been 2 movies, to be honest. It could have been 2 movies. You could have had an entire movie about Little Furiosa, which was very good, like the whole first act and even into the second. And then, of course, just the Anya Taylor-Joy. I mean, you really could have 3 movies with the 3 periods of life when it comes to Furiosa. Child, mid, and then, of course, the middle, life, and then, of course, having the Charlize Theron portion. Yeah. So, anyways, there you go. Go watch it, guys. Have fun with it. Anyways, what are you guys talking about, huh? Anything? We're supposedly getting a sequel. Yeah, I know. I hope we're going to get a sequel to Fury Road and get that Wasteland movie. I really hope that that's the case. But it's like, are Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron going to want to work together again? Because you can't have, after you've made these movies, you have to have them both come back. I mean, they both survived. You have to have them both come back. You really do. So you really have to have them both come back. Yeah, the name oh yeah, and like I said, there's some things like that. There's many chuckles when it comes to Chris Hemsworth and just the way he plays the character and the jokes that come out of it, man. It's yeah, Dementus. Yeah, good stuff. Meh. I'll wait for it on PVOD. So, nerdy mastermind right here. This is that's the reason why, the box office is suffering right there. That's the reason right there. That's the reason right there. It's all right. I mean, soon it's just going to be that. There's not going to be movie theaters anymore. The movie theater experience is going away because you get responses like that. I'll wait for it on VOD. It's like, God damn, that sucks. That sucks. Because I love going to the movies. Anyways. All right, let's get to the questions. All right, Eric. Hey, Dave. Talking about planting his new flag in the Netflix experience reminded me of what Quentin's discussed during post-10th film. Maybe stuff for Netflix. It'd certainly let him experiment in ways he couldn't with a single film. Who knows? Zach Quentin team up? Oh, that would be a dream right there. That'd be an absolute dream. P.S. My theory about Quentin canceling the movie critic is that he probably wants his last film to be a kind of film that hasn't been made before. Sci-fi, biopic, maybe. Since he's a dad now, a kid's movie? Oh, God. We don't want a kids movie from Quentin Tarantino. Nah. But I do like what you had to say, because I don't think Quentin Tarantino is going to just quit making things. He might not make another film, but could make a series for Netflix, right? Very, very well could be the case. I don't know. Devon Wooter. Hey, Dave, I just finished Mission Impossible 4 and 5. Do you have a favorite scene? Well, when it comes to Mission Impossible 4, I mean, the scene where he's just crawling on the Dubai, building, that is just absolutely insane. And I think, when it comes to Rogue Nation, I mean, one of my favorite shots of that movie is Rebecca Ferguson when she, she's wearing that dress, and, Rebecca Ferguson is just sexy as all hell. And she puts her leg up. And she has like the rifle. Oh, God. Yeah, that's just hot right there. I'm not saying that's my favorite scene, but I'm just saying just that shot is very, very nice. Somebody spray the squirt bottle in my face. Hold on. Getting a little hot right here thinking about that shot. Anyways, Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, question 1. How would you feel if Cillian Murphy or Ben Affleck get cast as Doctor Doom for this current saga or the reboot? I wouldn't hate it because I love them both. Question 2, if Marvel Studios does take back full rights of the Spider-Man IP from Sony, do you see it happening after Beyond the Spider-Verse releases? That's such a weird thing. It is such a weird thing because, I mean, I don't know the logistics when it comes to all that, but I mean, Sony is like, they are just holding on to that. It's like a briefcase with a handcuff to it. They do not want to let that go because that's been their bread and butter. I mean, I know a lot of people talk about, like, especially, when it comes to Madam Web and Craven coming out and the Venom movies and Morbius and stuff, but apparently there's a secret to the madness of the fact that they're still somehow making money on even like these shitty fucking Spider-Man spinoffs somehow. But it would be nice if Marvel Studios, and I'm willing to bet that Kevin Feige and crew just really would love to have the full IP, but at the same time, it's like, would Marvel Studios make something like Into the Spider-Verse? That whole trilogy? I mean, that's some of the best Spider-Man that you're ever going to get right there. So the fact of the matter is, I don't think that Marvel Studios would ever have come up with something as great as that. It's such a weird thing. It's just such a weird thing when it comes to that whole thing. But, I don't know. Sony benefits more than Marvel with, 100%. That's why it's taken forever for Spider-Man 4 to come out. No Way Home was a big, huge hit, and Marvel Studios is taking their time to make another Spider-Man movie. Meanwhile, Sony is like, hey, we're going to do spin-offs. We got Venom, we got Morbius, we got Madam Web, we got Kraven the Hunter. And Marvel Studios is like, all right, well, we'll see what happens with Spider-Man. We got to figure out Avengers and shit like this. It is kind of interesting. You bring up a good point there, Ben, that they definitely benefit more. So I'm like, they're not going to let go of those rights for a long, long time. Tarantino once said Kill Bill is a violent movie, but it's also a Tarantino movie. And then went on to say, you don't go to a Metallica concert and tell them to turn the music down. Yes, great quote. Thank you, Jacob, for saying that. Because, I love that. Because obviously he referenced one of my all-time favorite bands, Metallica. And it's very true. It's like, when you, and that's another thing too. Like, that's what I love about certain filmmakers. When you walk into a Zack Snyder film, you know what you're going to get. When you walk into a Scorsese film, you know what you're going to get. Obviously sometimes they try to like change it up a little bit, but I mean, when you're talking about violence specifically, you walk into a Tarantino, you're going to get violence. You walk into a Zack Snyder film, you're going to get violence. You walk to a Scorsese film, you're going to get a lot of like dialogue, slow moments, but you're going to get moments of violence as well too. I mean, these filmmakers aren't making something for the fucking kids. They're not doing that. But then, I will say this, like, speaking of, Furiosa that's coming out. I mean, George Miller, he did make Happy Feet. He did. Sometimes the filmmakers try to, even Zack made an animated film with the owls. I always fuck up the title, so I'm not even going to say it. But sometimes filmmakers challenge themselves and make some, and do something that you don't expect them to do when they're known for this. But I can't see Tarantino making a kid's film. It's just, it's very, very, it's too much. I can't see Scorsese making a kid's film either. There are like certain directors that have just they've stamped that. But it is kind of curious. It is kind of interesting talking about George Miller and the craziness of his Mad Max movies. He did make Happy Feet. He did make Happy Feet, which was a good animated film. I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't one that I watched over and over again, but I still enjoyed it. So it is kind of interesting how that is. But anyways, guys, The Legend of the Guardians. Yeah. But I always forget what the full-on name. Yeah, anyways. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We're going to go ahead. Yeah, Rodriguez did Spy Kids. Oh, yeah, Scorsese did do Hugo. I forgot about that. He did do an animated film. So I was wrong about Scorsese. But, sometimes, they challenge themselves. But anyways, guys, love ya. Members, we're going to do a members-only stream after this. So if you guys want to pick my brain, join the community when it comes to members. Join the Patreon if you want to do that as well. And, of course, at 8 o'clock, which is in an hour from now, Scott and I will be talking about an episode from Batman the Animated Series on DC Fanimated. So hopefully you guys tune into that too. Show up for that. Good to see you, Travis, from Vegas. But, yeah, love you guys. Thank you for joining. Members, look for the links on your feed. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Everybody else, I'll see you either tonight or see you on the Vodka stream on Friday. All right, guys. Talk to you later.